Brigadier General Irene Zoppi, U.S. Army South. FAHUM 2019. Fuerzas Aliadas Humanitarias is a Commander U.S. Southcom sponsored U.S. Army South conducted regionally oriented foreign humanitarian assistance disaster relief exercise. It is designed to build partner nation capacity for civil and military response to major disasters and to improve and strengthen regional civil-military collaboration. U.S. Army South has been collaborating with disaster management agencies and regional military forces in enhancing military and civil operation and coordination for roughly 20 years. Yes, roughly 20 years. 10 nations are scheduled to participate in FAHUM 2019. These exercises are instrumental in strengthening professional relationship and collaboration between military forces and civilian agencies. It really enhances partnership, and it is the way of life. And by the way, juntos podemos. Army South have been working in the region for about 20 years in terms of cooperation, partner nation planning, not only in humanitarian assistance, but also any kind of sort of problematic issues in terms of earthquakes, natural disasters, and also areas that can really hinder our populations in the Americas.
Okay. So for that one, we really want to focus on planning and coordination.
Together we can, juntos podemos. The participating countries include the Dominican Republic, United States of America, USA, Chile, Brazil, Argentina, Colombia, Costa Rica, El Salvador, Guatemala, Honduras, Mexico, Panama, and Peru. Local agencies that help us with the Emergency Operations Center, the Ministry of Defense, Dominican Civil Defense, Dominican National Police, and the Armed Forces. International agencies helping us include the National Disaster Prevention in Central America, U.S. Agency for International Development, the Office of Foreign Disaster Assistance, Humanitarian Rescue Unit, Caribbean Disaster Emergency Management Agency, El Salvador Civil Defense Agency, SINAPROC, COPECO, Caritas, and IFRC.
Okay. Can you please explain your personal role in relation to the exercise?
Yes, I am the director for ERIC, which is the Army Reserve Engagement Cell. This is the Army Reserve Engagement Cell, and it's a cell really addressing and directing not only planning but also the needs of Army South in terms of units from the Army Reserve that can support not only planning but coordination and actions of units attending and supporting Army South mission in the region. I'm also DCG when United States Army Reserve and also U.S. Army South needs me, then I can act as a CG or DCG for the commander.
And then can you explain to me why the U.S. is supporting this exercise, FAHUM?
Well, yes, I can. I will say that U.S. shares a common interest in the stabilization and the secure nations here in Latin America region, but also the cooperation, the solidarity that we have with them is not about the shared common interest, but also about the necessity of working together and learning from each other. We are all subject matter experts, and culturally and regionally, we're learning from each other so we can do better in humanitarian assistance.
Perfect. Does U.S. involvement benefit the U.S.?
It's a mutual benefit. It's working together, it's cooperating, it's understanding each other, mutual respect for each other, subject matter experts, and bring it all to the upfold. It's about solidarity, and it's about entertaining the fact that we want the Americas free of any kind of danger and also free to make their decisions to become free nations. But also the other factor that we want these nations to feel that United States is going to be there for them whenever they need us.
Further on the scope of U.S. involvement in the exercise?
Yeah. Yes, so the main point here is demonstrating that U.S. government is committed to the Dominican Republic and also to the region. It's about strengthening the hemispheric cooperation and collaboration between humanitarian assistance and subject matters experts throughout the entire nations that are linked with us, also with non-profit organizations and profit organizations that help humanitarian aid and support.
And then the last question, which we weren't able to rehearse, how well did the execution line up with the plan?
Mm-hmm. It's all about cooperation and planning, and having the plan, pre-planning, it was, I think, very important. The planners for this exercise took about 6 to 9 months of planning events. And I will tell you that the Dominican Republic did a great job. Not only the factor that they constructed really good buildings and really good activities that can showcase each event. For example, it was an earthquake. You actually could look at the location and think there was an earthquake. When we see that the planners have taken the time to understand the culture, the language, the way they do things, and then show them our way, and then maximize that with subject matter experts in terms of lessons learned from the region, we can create scenarios that really impacting. The scenario that I went and saw, that was a devastation of a really seismic earthquake. And you can see buildings all fall back into the floor. You will see also human beings that were actually buried on the scumbers of all these buildings. And they actually were things under. There were bodies that they will need to find with dogs, and those bodies will be rubber, for example, mannequins that they have placed, or real human beings. And you ask me, how did they do that? They actually created a tunnel through all the scumbers and all the building locations, and in that tunnel there was a human being alive, so the dogs could smell it and they could actually rescue. There were also vehicles that were damaged by the debris, and we saw actually not only men and women from the Dominican Republic, but also organizations coming to aid, and how they were able to conduct humanitarian reasons. So when we see this exercise, supporting the exercise, demonstrate that U.S. government is here and committed to the Dominican Republic and to the region. We see that also these exercises strengthen the collaboration between humanitarian assistance and humanitarian aid that is needed in the event that any natural disaster will come to the region, and we're here to support.
Your personal opinion, why is it important that we develop these relationships and collaborate with these organizations?
Collaborations is about subject matter expert, and it's about building each other and that mutual respect. Each country, each nation that is participating in these events not only demonstrate their subject matter expertise, their knowledge, their capacity of wisdom sharing, the transparency in communication. How do they work with social media, for example? How do they build new applications to talk to the communities and the future of the communities in terms of a disaster? We also work in cooperation of the planning to the events of something like this to happen to any time and any event anywhere. So if you look at it from the spheric location of the Latin America region, is all about collaboration. So this not only provides a subject matter expert, but also brings the capacity higher level, confidence building, and also the factor that we are working together to learn from each other. And we got to applaud the role that the Dominican Republic have done in this event, because they have done an outstanding job, not only about the factor of being inspired by exercises and training themselves for that, but preparing for events like that. And the entire government and the entire community and the entire schools are part of this event. So beautiful.
Anything else that you would like to add?
Yeah, I do. Okay. The only limits are those of vision, and that's an anonymous writer that wrote that quote. And listen to this again. The only limits are those of vision. We need to have the vision to look at the Americas and understand the meaning of cooperation, collaboration, solidarity. Is all about being one and the power of one. The idea that we have in Army South of Juntos Podemos, together we can, show us that we inspire each other. and inspiration of each other means that we all lead together. And leading together means that we must work together in partnership by broadening our perspective, learning from each other, and putting the lessons learned for every activity that we do. And in this way, not only that juntos podemos, but also the only limits are those of vision, meaning that our vision will always prevail because we are here for peace and for the development of great nations in the Americas. Go Army South.